Scheme and play.
Sure, yeah, if you want
Tad told me scheme and play time's off the table. I'm just trying to stay within the rules here. I'm a rule follower. I follow the rules.
How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down the line? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys fan, and I gotta talk to y'all about the press conference Mike McCarthy had yesterday at the Star. Y'all saw at the beginning of the video, we have a complete yes man as the head coach of our Dallas Cowboys. A coach being in his last year of his contract that has to do whatever Jerry Jones tells him to do, even if that means going against what has been successful for him over the years. With that type of philosophy, our Dallas Cowboys may never get over the hump. So we're going to take a listen to the two clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to what Mike McCarthy had to say.
You've talked a lot about being a draft and develop coach, and that's a bedrock principle of what you do. And you've also mentioned several times this year being green, which is another part of being a draft and develop team. How key is it every offseason when you're draft and develop like you are to analyze kind of that veteran safety net on how many of them you let go so you don't leave yourself too young in certain areas? I mean, how big a part of that is then the evaluation year in, year out?
Well, I do think the formula, and it's hard to do it every year because you got the whole financial realm over here that's critical to the process of putting together a roster. But you know, and I learned this first time I really saw it happen was probably in Kansas City, but was more in tune with it when I went to Green Bay. Is, you know, you try to make sure through veteran free agency you have, you know, the spots full, or at least you know you can go play a game today if you had to in April, and then you're able to, you know, you're not drafting for need. I mean, you try to stay away from drafting for need, but that's not, you know, some years it's not practical. So you know, and have been there even in a draft and develop program in 13 years. I mean, we said we were BPA, best play available all the time, but you know, there are times we were not. So, and I think so that happens. So, I personally, as a head coach, would really, you know, when you're signing veterans in camp and you know you're doing things at the end, that I think that's a pretty big challenge. It doesn't because it's happened more this year, it seems, than I haven't been exposed to as much. Because I think, you know, if you can have everybody here in April, when that draft's over and you line up and you got that 90-man roster, if you can get to work on continuity and consistency, I think that's a huge factor in the start of your season.
Did Mike McCarthy just drop the bomb on Jerry Jones and his takes on drafting for needs as well as using free agents in the free agent market? Did he just out Jerry Jones on how he will use bargain bin players and not be aggressive during free agency? Let me find out Mike McCarthy is fighting back without overtly being defiant. I just wish he would explain this to his owner and his son. Now jumping into the final clip, Mike McCarthy talks about the difference between catching lightning in a bottle as opposed to being a consistent playoff team. So we're going to take a listen to what he had to say, and then we're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Cowboys Nation, let's go ahead and take a listen to the final clip from Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to catch lightning in a bottle and go win a Super Bowl. Hell, I mean, that's awesome, but, you know, go to the playoffs every year. I mean, that's hard. Sustained success in the National Football League is by far the hardest thing going. I mean, when you see teams that are in it every single year, that's a hell of a football program. I mean, they're doing things the right way on all three quadrants. You know, their player instruction, you know, their player drafting, and their player finance. All three of those components are functioning at a very high level. So, you know, being a one-year wonder, you know, and it's happened, you know, and it's, and it's important. I mean, if you can get in the playoffs and play your best football in December and January, it's been proven. You have a great opportunity to maybe win one. But to build it for the long haul, you have to draft and develop. I don't know any other way. I mean, that's the numbers tell you that the depth of your football team is critical to that. So those are all very, very important factors.
Mike McCarthy is absolutely correct, Cowboys Nation. To be able to make it to the playoffs each year is a feat that's not easy to do, and it gives you the best chances at breaking through in the earlier rounds to make it to a championship game. The problem the Dallas Cowboys have is with conflicting ideologies when it comes to this type of topic. So let's dive into this a little bit more, Cowboys Nation. Y'all ready for my Raw and Uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. What we are witnessing in this interview is Mike McCarthy secretly telling the press as well as Cowboys Nation that his philosophy is to draft and develop, as well as using free agency to establish a veteran presence that will help those draft picks be able to find their place on the team and to establish their roles. Yes, you want to be able to hit in the draft and use those players, but not have to depend on every single draft selection that you get. The Dallas Cowboys allowed the veteran presence of Jonathan Hankins to leave, putting all the pressure on Amazi Smith. They allowed the veteran presence of Tyron Smith to leave, putting all the pressure on Tyler Guyton to fill his roles. The same can be said with Stephon Gilmore and Kalen Carsons. The veteran presence is as vital as those rookies the Dallas Cowboys are drafting and bringing to this team. I like the fact that he brought up not drafting for need, but drafting for BPA, best player available. I feel it's an important philosophy for any football organization to follow. Remember, that's how we attained CeeDee Lamb in the draft. We could have used other positions, but we went with the best player available and hit on CeeDee Lamb. When you draft for need, you end up in a situation like a Mozzie Smith or a Tyler Guyton, having to build the plane while it's in the air, having to spend more time developing those players as opposed to hitting the ground running. At this point in time, the Dallas Cowboys need to hit the ground running while also using the free agency market to gain proven veterans to help the rookies as well as improve this team. Being too green is more harmful to a team, and we're witnessing this year, Cowboys Nation. But Mike McCarthy hit on the importance of veteran free agency and how it will help this team. Jerry and Stephen Jones have continuously put this team behind the 8 ball, trying to add veteran presence after the top veterans have been chosen by other teams. They continuously bring veterans in that were either on the couch or on another team's practice squad. The thing is, you cannot tell Jerry and Stephen Jones nothing because they feel like they have it all figured out when it's evident that they don't. This is why I say things won't change in Dallas, because the front office is unwilling to change their philosophy. They are unwilling to see that peak performances gives you peak results. Lack of a better term, you get what you pay for. While there are people too busy blaming everything on 1 or 2 players, there are those who knows and understands where the true blame needs to be placed. I've said this over and over again, Cowboys Nation. It starts from the top down. If you're willing to spare no expense on your team, you'll get the outcome that you desire. If you're using every moment to try and penny pinch, you will get what you pay for. In the case of the Dallas Cowboys, we will never get over this hump. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. What did you feel about what I had to say, Cowboys Nation? Do you feel like Mike McCarthy's hands are tied by the powers that be? Y'all know what we doing. Let's go ahead and have a healthy conversation about it in the comment section. If you're digging the content and want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on this video and share it with whomever you know is a Cowboys fan. If you are DC for life and just wish that Jerry Jones would stop meddling and give Mike McCarthy the power that he needs in order to succeed, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or Madden 25 and College Football 25 gameplay. This interview was Mike McCarthy's plea for help from Jerry and Stephen Jones. Though this may be his last year in Dallas, I hope these cries will resonate so that the next coaching staff will be able to flourish and benefit from all the turmoil that the coaches before them had to endure by the hands of the ownership. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.